Hello everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to explain how I made the faces for the animation experiment. So we have two types of faces. So we have, first of all, we have the shaking face that shakes no, basically, so from left to right. Those are these images. And we have the smiling face where you get a larger and then a smaller face. So how did I make that in Inkscape? Well, I have an Inkscape file and I provide that. There's a link below the video where you can actually download this Inkscape file where I already made them. So you can just download them yourself and maybe modify them a little bit. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to make. For example, let's start with this one, these three phases here. How did I do this? Well, I'll just create a little bit clean space here, and let me just start with a circle. So I start with a circle, and you go here on circle, or you press the E for ellipse, right? So you just make a circle. That's easy. If you hold Shift and Control, you can also make a perfectly round circle. But for a face, I think a more oval one is probably good. Now, if I want to delete, oh, actually the other one. So now I want to make it just yellow, and I don't need a black stroke around the yellow face. So I press Shift and then the red cross here at the left that removes the stroke. If you want to look in detail at fill and stroke, you can inside Toolkit look at the fill color, which in this case is yellow, and the stroke paint, where we have now no paint. So if you have a flat color, or just black, for example, but we don't need a paint in this case. Okay. Now now I want to draw actually two eyes on it and a nose. So I make some small circles for small ovals one, but I want to make them black. So I go down here on my color palette and I just select black. Now I want to duplicate this. Now in Inkscape you can just type Control C, Control V for control for basically you copy and paste. That works. You can also do duplicate for Control D. Now you want them to be aligned ideally, so you can go on align and distribute and use here center and horizontal axis. They were already pretty much there anyway, so I want to keep them together. Like, okay, so let's do it like that. There are my eyes. Now I can group them together if I want them perfectly in the middle. If I want this pair of eyes perfectly in the middle, so for example, I select everything here and then relative to selection area here on. So that's just alignment, okay? So now I need a nose. Again, I just do a small black circle as a nose here. Again, I want this nose in the middle, so I can select these two, and then I say here, middle. Okay. Now the mouth is quite important. Different ways to make a mouth. I usually do a line. So I go here on the pen tool, draw Bezier curves and straight lines. You can also just press the B on your keyboard. And then I start here, click mouse, and then I hold control to make it a straight line. And then here I click twice. And now I get a line, but I need to go bottom here. I right click here, stroke width. I make it 1, for example, and I need to give it a color. So shift, I hold the shift and then click here on black. And then I get here my line. Now if you if you zoom in a little bit, you see that this has rounded corners. You can with your fill and stroke, you can go in stroke style. You can, if this is selected, you can use straight corners, or square caps, or round caps. I think for a mouth maybe better. So let's put it just in the middle here as well. If I want to go, you could make that line a little bit bigger, maybe 2, right? So now, how do I put it again in the middle? I go to align and distribute. So that's just, oops, need to select these two and then, okay, there. Now, if I go on my node tool, I can press F2 or I can here go on the left, top left. It says here node tool, or you can press the N on the keyboard. Then you see the nodes in this line, and basically you can just click anywhere on this line, hold the mouse button, and then just move it around. Now you can do something like that. It's quite nice. It's also that shows it's still filled. If I remove the fill with here on fill and stroke, say no, I don't want to fill here, then you just get this line. And again, I can do it like that. Now I want a frowny face, so I just do it like this. Okay, so there we go. Now done with this, and I can move this a little bit around. I hold Control so that it stays at the same Y position. Okay. So now I'm happy with that. But now, how did I make um, make these into three faces? Now, what you can do is let's just uh, I can select these items, and I can now say Control C, Control V, and I get a second one. And I what I do now is I'm just now going to select the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and I move them a little bit to the left. And then that's all I do for making it a left facing face. I didn't do much. Now I copy this whole thing, Control C, Control V, copy it, and now I'm going to flip the whole thing just by pressing the H. Or you can also here on, you can say object flip horizontal. So now I have a left facing face. um, I can move that one here for the logic of it, and then let me see. So now I have my three faces. Right, it's quite cool. Now the only thing that is still missing from this is sort of like this three-dimensional shine that I have on these other faces. If we go left to my original faces here, you see I have a little bit of white area. There are different ways of doing that. You could, in principle, apply a gradient to the yellow. Um, Actually, I haven't tried that yet. That's not the way I did it. So instead, what I did is I did it like this. First, I copy the yellow, control copy V, so that I have another yellow face. And then I want to cut part of that. So I'll show you what I do is I create another face. Sorry, uh, create another circle, and I want just to have sort of like the right part of this face. So I select that one and this one, and then I type Control minus, and then you just keep that part. That is sort of like that's good, cool. All right, let me show you that again. So if I select both of these, and you can also go here on path and say difference. Now, what can be important with that is which one is at the top. So if this one is at the top, I'm not sure if you get the same effect. It might be that you get, then the bottom it's cut out like that. So you don't want that one. So you want this one in the background and this one in the front. So you can here say raise selection to the top. You can also press the home key on your keyboard. Then you select both and you go to path difference or type Control M. Now, if I say, for example, just make this one blue here and I put it on top of this face here, all you get the idea, right? So all I need to do now is just make that in a decent white and so that I get this shine. So let me now work more on this. So I need to change the color a little bit. Let me first, I just put it here so that it's easier to do. I don't mix up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it white. But if it's pure white and I put it here, I think that's not good enough. It needs to have a gradient, what we call a gradient. You can go here on the left, gradient tool, or type G on your keyboard. And I can just do something like this. Then it basically, what you get is it it's only so like it's only a little bit. It's very light, and if so, that's probably enough. If I put this on here, might not be strong enough this effect, so I can again go on my gradient tool, make it a little bit stronger, but without seeing. I don't want this too sharp a line, so I can maybe do like this. This is probably quite good, right? So this, and then you put it on there, and that is a subtle effect. Now you might also you might not see it, the contrast is not so big maybe. So sometimes what you can do is you can, if you want to, you can put maybe a black background behind it. So let's do that. Um, Pure black, and then okay. So then you see it a little bit like it would be on the screen. And you can even right click it and you can say lock this so that you don't move it. Now I want to move this. Also, I want that it fits perfectly, that it aligns perfectly with the face, and I want to put it on each of these three faces. So how do I do that? Well, for that, I'm going to use the snap tool. Here on the top right, I type snap. I click on it twice, and then it snaps exactly on the object. Now I type Control C, Control V, and then I have another one, and I do that here. And then another one, a copy one, and I have it here. Now I have this sort of like white effect. Now you might object. I think this is quite cool. You could put here the eyes above the lightning effect. I'm not sure if that's better or not. Play around a little bit with it. But this is the idea. Now that we've done this, I probably remove this black thing here. So now also I want to show you quickly how do you export this actually. So when you select just this, and then you go on here on your tools, say export, and what you need to do is you need to export to selection. And what's I think important here is to select the WebP. That is the smallest image format. Don't choose JPEG. That's quite bad actually for this type of image. You either want PNG, which is good, or you want WebP. I would use WebP because that's the smallest. And then if you type export, it will be saved. You can change the file name and so on. So that's it really. I hope that was helpful. You can make really cool animations. You know, if you're a little bit experienced with Inkscape, this really takes, how much time does it take? It takes you 5 minutes at most to do this. But it's a simple drawing with a really cool effect. So I hope you like this. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have questions, leave a comment below the video. It really helps us to improve the user experience, to give you tips on how to do stuff. So that's it. That's the tutorial. Watch the other tutorial about the animation as well. More tutorials will follow, and that's it. Goodbye for now.